Shalom, shalom, everybody. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our Friday night class. Question and answers is September 11th, just for GP 9/11. We're gonna do the moment of silence for all that the Lord of hosts is doing for us in our deliverance from our land, our oppressors, and then we're gonna say a prayer and go into current events. Okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore, we come before thee at this beginning of thy Sabbath, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servant David and Solomon, Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For you possess the power to turn us, O Lord. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that were written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord. Hide not thy face from us. We need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Current events. Anybody got any current event? Anything they want to share? So, with that being said, I was going to let you know that when I ask for questions or comments or whatever, when you unmute your mic, that's going to let me know that you want to say something, so I'm going to bring you up. Okay, so I got some current events. It's about these wildfires. Like I said, we're in the midst of this coronavirus. This wreaking havoc on the United States and pretty much the world, but especially the United States. Then we had these a double bang with these two hurricanes, and now we have right now at this moment 500,000 people in Oregon, which is over 10% of the state population. They are under evacuation orders as wildfires continue to race through more than a dozen western states. This was this morning. At least 26 people have died, and hundreds of homes have been destroyed by more than 100 major fires that are just consuming it. Consuming the area. Consuming the area of over the size of New Jersey. At least 20 deaths have been reported in California, 5 in Oregon, and 1 in Washington State. The National Interagency for Fire and the Fire Center said that Friday nearly 28,000 firefighters and support personnel are assigned to wildfires across the West, and evacuation orders are in place for the residents near 400 large fires. And the states that are involved are Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. So, like I said before, it's relentless. It's almost when you look at this, it's almost like the 10 plagues the Most High brought in Egypt. Because it's one thing after another one, and the big thing about it is all these events is taking place, but the main thing is this coronavirus still there, hanging over everybody here. You know, you're going from one catastrophic event to another one, but the whole time you're in the midst of a catastrophic event. The whole time the coronavirus still there, and then they predicting that the fall, which we in the midst of the fall, we coming up to the fall now, saying it's going to be the worst time for the coronavirus. It ain't even came yet. So, like I said before, it's if you don't know it, Most High got his hands stretched out. He's working on his prophecies that he said that he had predicted concerning the latter days and concerning us as a people. One event after another. Any comments?
Yeah, those wildfires don't even seem real, man. All the as far as how much destruction is doing, it's ridiculous. With all the
Right.
technology of that we got today, you think that they'd be able to put that stuff out.
Oh, right. But yeah, it's it goes back to the what happened when all those houses burned in California at the time. They people was reporting that it was a beam. It was a beam coming down from, and it was
Sky.
starting to fire. And they also was saying that it's tied to those smart boxes, smart meters. Smart meters is they can cause a house to burn down within hours with this the way they with their smart meter. They can trigger it. It's computer activated. And that's the whole purpose behind when they install the smart meters was to do that. And then not only in that, it's in the refrigerators and microwaves. When if they want to make it self destruct, they can make it self destruct. That's what the smart all about on the new. That's the new thing. Smart this and smart that. But it's really for tied into what they're doing. Like I said, I don't want no smart refrigerator. All I wanted to do is keep my food cold. You ain't got to be smart. Yeah. So anyway, anybody got any comments on that? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if anybody really know that or not, but in we see. I was giving you the understanding on the understanding on how how we have the woes. How they do the typology and how they take a story from the Old Testament when they was concocting JC and they use it over in the New Testament. So they got the Beatitudes in the New Testament. They got the woes. Jesus had these woes, and then he got parables. Well, all that comes from Enoch, because Enoch got woes. Enoch got parables. Enoch talked in parables. So they just took, and then we understand that the Lord of hosts proclaimed to Enoch that he was the son of man, and that the understanding was going to rest on him. The understanding of and the wisdom is going from him until the end. To the latter days, it was going to knowledge and understanding was going to rest on him. It was going to look toward him. So when you understand that, I'm gonna read from the book of Enoch, chapters 96 through 99. They're not that long, but they woes. And so the woes they got in New Testament, is predicated from the woes that Enoch spoke in the book of Enoch. So I'm gonna start reading. I'm starting at 96. It said, "Be hopeful, ye righteous, for suddenly shall the sinners perish before you, and ye shall have lordship over them according to your desires. And in the day of the tribulation of the sinners, their children shall mount and rise as eagles, and higher than the vultures will be your nest. And ye shall ascend and enter the crevices of the earth and the cliffs of the rock forever as conies before the unrighteous. And sirens shall sigh because of you and weep. Wherefore fear not, ye that have suffered, for healing shall be your portion, and a bright light shall enlighten you, and the voice of rest shall hear your shall you shall hear from heaven. Woe unto you, ye sinners, for your riches may make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners. And this fact shall be the testimony against you for a memorial of your evil deeds. Woe to you who devour the finest of the wheat, and drink wine in large bowls, and tread underfoot the lowly with your might. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for suddenly shall ye be consumed and wither away, because ye have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be a memorial against you for evil. Woe to you, ye mighty. Woe with my oppressed. Woe with might oppress the righteous, for the day of your destruction is coming. In those days, many and good days shall come to the righteous in the day of your judgment. And that was Enoch 36, 9-7. Believe, ye righteous, that the sinners will become ashamed and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Be it known unto you, ye sinners, that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over your destruction. What will ye do, ye sinners, and whither will ye flee on the day of your judgment, when ye hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? Yea, ye shall fare like unto them, against whom this word shall be a testimony. Ye have been companions of sinners, and in those days the prayers of the righteous shall reach unto the Lord. And for you the days of your judgment shall come, and all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read out before the great Holy One, and your faces shall be covered with shame. He will reject every work which is grounded on unrighteousness. Woe to you, ye sinners, who live on the mid ocean and on the dry land, who remembers his evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold in unrighteousness, and say, we have become rich with riches and have possessions, and have acquired everything we have desired. And now let us do what we propose, for we have gathered silver, and many are the husbandmen in our houses, and our granaries are brim full as with water. Yea, and like water your lives shall flow away, for your riches shall not abide, but speedily ascend from you, and ye have acquired it all in unrighteousness, and ye shall be given over to a great curse. 98. And now I swear unto you, to the wise and to the foolish, for ye have manifold experiences on the earth, and ye men shall be put on more adornment than a woman, and colored garments more than a virgin, in royalty and in grandeur and in power, and in silver and in gold and in purple, and in splendor and in food. They shall be poured out as water. So I want to go back to 98 and 1. It says, and now I swear to you, to the wise and to the foolish. So we know that the Gentile, we found out that Japhet, the word Japhet means foolish. So he talking to the Gentiles. So it says, and color, it says 3, for ye men shall put on more adornment than a woman. We're looking at that now. And colored garments more than a virgin. And in royalty and in grandeur and in power, and in silver and in gold and in purple, and in splendor and in food, they shall be poured out as water. Therefore they shall be wanting in doctrine and wisdom, and they shall perish thereby together in their possessions, and with all their glory and their splendor, and in shame and in slaughter and in great destitution. Their spirits shall be cast into the furnace of fire. I have sworn unto you, ye sinners. I have sworn unto ye, says, in shame and in slaughter and in great destruction. Their spirits shall be cast into the furnace of fire. I have sworn unto you, ye sinners, as a mountain has not become a slave, as a mountain has not become a slave, and a hill does not become the handmaid of a woman. Even so, sin has not been sent upon the earth, but man of himself has created it, and under a great curse shall they fall who commit it. And the barrenness has not been given to the woman, but on account of the deeds of her own hands, she dies without children. I have sworn unto you, ye sinners, by the Holy Great One, that all your evil deeds are revealed in the heavens, and that none of your deeds of oppression are covered and hidden. And do not think in your spirit, nor say in your heart that you do not know, that ye do not see that every sin is every day recorded in heaven in the presence of the Most High. For henceforth ye know that all your oppression wherewith ye oppressed is written down every day unto the day of your judgment. Woe to you, ye fools, for through your folly shall ye perish, and ye transgress against the wise, and so good hap shall not be your portion. And now know ye that you are prepared for the day of destruction. Wherefore do not hope to live, ye sinners, but ye shall depart and die, for ye know no ransom. For ye are prepared for the day of the great judgment, for the day of tribulation and great shame for your spirits. Woe to you, ye obstinate of heart, who work wickedness and eat blood. Whence have ye good things to eat and to drink and to be filled? From all the good things which the Lord of hosts, the Lord, the Most High, has placed in the abundance on the earth. Therefore ye shall have no peace. Woe to you who love the deeds of unrighteousness. Wherefore do ye hope for good hope unto yourselves. Know that ye shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous, and they shall cut off your necks and slay you, and have no mercy upon you. Woe to you who rejoice in the tribulation of the righteous, for no grave shall be dug for you. Woe to you who set at naught the words of the righteous, for ye shall have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and godless words, for they write down their lies, that men may hear them and act godlessly toward their neighbor. Therefore they shall have no peace, but die a sudden death. In the last chapter, chapter 99, woe to you who work godlessness and glory in lying and extol them. Ye shall perish. No happy life shall be yours. Woe to them who pervert the words of uprightness and transgress the evil law, the eternal law, and transform themselves into what they were not, and transfer themselves into what they were not, in sinners. They shall be trodden underfoot upon the earth. In those days, make ready, ye righteous, to raise your prayers as a memorial, place them as a testimony before the angels, that they may place the sin of the sinners for a memorial before the Most High. In those days, the nations shall be stirred up, and the families of the nations shall arise on the day of destruction. And in those days, the destitute shall go forth and carry off their children, and they shall abandon them, so that their children shall perish through them. Yea, they shall abandon their children that are sucklings, and not return to them, and shall have no pity on their beloved ones. And again, I swear to you, ye sinners, that sin is prepared for the day of unceasing bloodshed. And they who worship stones and graven images of gold and silver and wood and stone and clay, and those who worship impure spirits and demons and all kinds of idols, not according to knowledge, shall go no manner of help from them. And they shall get no manner of help from them, and they shall become godless by the reason of the folly of their hearts, and their eyes shall be blinded to the fear of their hearts, and through visions in their dreams, through these they shall become godless and fearful, for they shall have wrought all their work in a lie, and shall have worshipped a stone. Therefore in an instant shall they perish. But in those days blessed are they who accept the words of wisdom and understand them, and observe the path of the Most High, and walk in the path of his righteousness, and become not godless with the godless, for they shall be saved. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbors, for you shall be slain in Sheol. Woe to you who make deceitful and fearful measures, and to them who cause bitterness on the earth, they shall thereby be utterly consumed. Woe to you who build your houses through the grievous toil of others, and all their building materials are the bricks and stones of sin. I tell you, ye shall have no peace. Woe to them who reject the measure and eternal heritage of their fathers, and those and whose souls follow after idols, for they shall have no rest. Woe to them who work unrighteousness and help oppression, and slay their neighbors until the day of their great judgment. For he shall cast down your glory and bring affliction on your hearts, and shall arouse his fierce indignation and destroy you all with the sword, and all the holy and righteous shall remember your sins. Okay, so what I read was Enoch 96 through 99. It was the woes that Enoch was talking, and he was bringing forth the woes as the Lord host had gave him. So when you look at that, you see that we don't have nothing to worry about, because he already proclaimed all this. But what we talking about now and waiting on is all right there in those chapters. So all the stuff that we see them doing and all the stuff that that's being uncovered and we looking at it, the Most High just said He gonna judge it. And we are, like I was talking earlier in the current events, it's already started. And He said that it's gonna happen suddenly. So if their judgment is gonna happen suddenly, that means that our deliverance and the blessings that we waiting on as children of Jacob, the blessings gonna come suddenly. So, like I said, when I read that, I got confident. Any comments? Anybody got any comments? Okay.
Yeah, that's a serious case of typology.
Right. Is there something?
Yep. And they don't even try to like switch it up or make it different.
Right. But the thing about it, like I said, it's confident when you read it and you understand that what Enoch said holds true. What Enoch said holds true more so than what you read in the New Testament.
Right.
Back in the day when you was blind, you held on to every word that Jesus said that was written in red. Now you know better. It comes from what Enoch was doing, what Enoch said, our forefathers. So you just like you hung on to that when you was blind. Now you're awakened. You hang on to what the things Enoch just telling you, because it's coming to pass. Like I said, what I just read, you can apply it to September 11th right now today, because it's being manifested. He's out here on the move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's some. So like I said, with that being said, I want to go, being that this Friday night, I was gonna do a little.
It's a question.
Where it said
in the comments.
Okay, I have a question from yesterday. Why didn't Jacob go with Leah and Dinah to see the daughters of the land, or send his son or a male servant with them? If I can recall, if you go back to the story, none of the boys wasn't there. They heard about what he had done. That's the reason why he done it, because none of them was there. And so then when they found out, that's when they got together and decided on how to go about judging them. And so what they decided to do was circumcise them first. They got them circumcised, all of them, and then they waited till they got inebriated and killed all of them. So they was just using tact. Okay, you asked a question about the Book of Enoch. Yeah, they got different versions of the Book of Enoch. The one that I read is I don't have it with me, but the book I read is the first one I got when I first started dealing with it. When I found out about Enoch, it's got a picture of Enoch on the front of the book. It's a green book. That's the one I deal with. But I use the one when I'm reading. I use the book that's right here. It's got three. It's got Jubilees, and it's got Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher all in one book. But I found out that the Jasher that's in there is not the same as the Jasher, the original Jasher that I got. The first Jasher I got, which was right here. This is the book of Jasher I read. And so, Enoch he's coming out with all these different versions of these books, but that's in the favor of the to me, that's in favor of the Israelite. Because what you can do is start doing a comparison and contrast between the two, and you can pretty much see where the error is by doing a comparison and contrast. I was talking to somebody today over at the shop about they was trying to he finally realized that the people in America is the Israelites. So so when he started, he was coming over there telling me, and I was saying that that's just the beginning, because once you find that out, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes behind it. And I was showing him how that the story of star in the sky, from what they did to us when we start talking about a star in the sky and all that, the first thing we think about is Jesus' birth. But that's not the case with our forefathers. It was a star when Abraham was born. And once you realize that, then you realize that it sheds a light on the fact that all the things he's doing with Abraham, because just to come into the story of Abraham and see all the things that the Most High doing with him, it don't really make no sense. He's saying, why are you doing this? But then when you find out that the star and the story of the star and all that stuff that came in the east and all that is tied to him, then you see the significance of Abraham. And so they took all that story and all that significance off Abraham and placed it on the idol that's in the New Testament, Jesus. Put that story on him. That's one of the major reasons why nobody knew about the Book of Enoch until recently. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got any questions, comments? Nobody got a question or comment from last week, something they was reading, from a class or something they was watching video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about that prayer in first.
Arizona homeowners.
Oops,
All the
I'm
electric
sorry.
companies in Arizona.
How do I get rid of it? Oh, okay. Anyway, I was trying to bring it up, but they playing commercials. Jeez. Anyway, the one that's in First Kings 8, and then I think the prayer starts at like about 22.
You want Solomon's prayer?
Right.
Okay. What about it?
Well, I was reading it over because I wanted to talk about it, but
Okay. What about it?
it's to me, it's kind of like most relevant to what's going on with us today. Um, the sincerity of his prayer and how it's so applicable to Israel uh, yet today. Um, there's some things absent, you know. Of course, he built the house for the Lord of hosts, and that, of course, we're not in a situation where that is is something that's happening right now. But I just thought that the prayer was, and I can't see right now because there's something going on here, and I have no light, so I apologize.
Okay. Yeah. So I see where Queen Netta was saying that why is the Lord that's why the Lord visited Abraham in Genesis 18. Well, it's partly of the reason, but if you go back to the story in Genesis 18, it says that he came with the intention to he was coming to judge the sin that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. It was so great that it had it was reaching up to heaven, and so he came to judge that. But in the process, he came to deal with Abraham too, because Abraham didn't have no seed. Abraham had prayed a prayer, and he was telling the Lord that the only person that's going to take over after him is his male servant, his number one male servant. And he said he didn't have no he had no seed. So he was coming to Abraham to deal with Sodom and Gomorrah, and he also came to seal Abraham's house by giving him Isaac. So that's why when you go to Genesis chapter 18 verse 9, he says, and they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son, and she heard it in the tent door, and which was behind him. And Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of a woman. So that was the purpose of him coming. So when it says that according to the time of life, 9 months. So when he came right there, Sarah was already pregnant, and he was telling her that you're gonna have a son, and in 9 months it's a baby in your womb. In 9 months you're gonna have the baby, and I'm gonna return after the 9 months. And so if you go to chapter 21, I'm gonna start at verse 1. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, what I just read over in 18. And the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. But Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the time of which God had spoken to him. So she was with child when he came, and then he came back right here. 9 months later, she had a baby. It says that Abraham says 3, and Abraham called the name of the son that was born unto him, whom Sarah had bore to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. So that was the purpose of him coming to put a seal on Abraham's house. Abraham didn't have no seed. He didn't have no male son. He didn't have no child. And that was his purpose of coming, to, like I said, to answer Abraham's prayer, and he had to judge Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, anybody else got something?
Shalom.
Okay.
In Genesis 19, where the angels visit Lot,
Okay.
it says, let me read it right quick. It says, and there came two angels to Sodom at even and Lot. So can you explain who those two angels are?
Okay. So like I had said, and this from constantly digging in the scriptures and seeking the understanding and all that. So when you understand, it's Ezekiel. Go to Ezekiel right quick. And the thing about it is, like I said, when you can't, you have to let this stuff register, and then you got to keep it in your head because it comes up later. It comes up later, and that's what guides the understanding and keep you from getting off the path. With fantasies and lies. So it says in Ezekiel chapter 1. Yeah, Ezekiel chapter 1.
Okay.
Let me find it. It says Ezekiel chapter 1, it says in verse 5, it says, and it says also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance, and they had the likeness of a man. So these 4 creatures is Most High. When you go to 26, it says there was a voice from the firmament which was over their heads, and when they stood, and had let down their wings, and above the firmament that was over their head was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of appearance of a man over above upon it. So you say, what you talking about? Well, you got the Ark of the Covenant. You got 4 corners on it, which is they got staves in there that go through the rings, and 4 priests got to tote it. Same thing with this throne. These 4 angels right here, these 4 creatures, which is four angels, are carrying this throne. And so you say, well, what are you talking about? Well, ain't that what you see all over the ancient world? They toting the king around he's sitting inside this little throne, and 4 men toting him. So that tell you right there, they had seen the Most High. Like I said, Nebuchadnezzar saw him. Cyrus got it from Nebuchadnezzar. He got 4 chamberlains, 4 wise men in his council. That's what Esther had to go before. When she had to go before the king, she went in and she said she saw the king standing there and the 4 chamberlains with him. They got that from when these men was dealing with the Lord of hosts. He appeared to Pharaoh. He appeared to Nebuchadnezzar. He appeared to Cyrus. He appeared to Cyrus and told Cyrus what he wanted to do. And Cyrus came out and told him, your God told me to build him a house in Jerusalem. So how can he say that if he ain't talked to him? And he ain't seen him. And if he saw him, he saw he saw his setup. So you got 7 archangels, but 4 of them told him his throne. So you got Michael, which is the first angel created, Gabriel after him, Uriel, and Raphael, them the 4 that told his throne. So what you see in Genesis three of them, like I had showed you before, three of them, you see three men coming. So, like I said, when you think about that, you know, the Most High throne got to be somewhere because they there. So, three of them coming to deal with Abraham. So when they get to where Abraham at, go back and look at it, 18, and show you something. That's why you have to understand what their names are and what they capable of doing. You know, because they names gonna tell you what their responsibilities are. So when you go to Genesis 18, when you get to chapter 19, verse 24 is when he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It says, then the Lord rained down upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire. Look at this, from the Lord out of heaven. So the brimstone, somebody in heaven that's raining it down. So it's three of them, but it's four of them that carry the throne. Well, Uriel is the one that's over the luminaries.
The fire and okay.
So that let you know that's Uriel in heaven waiting on them. The Lord of hosts to get in position. When he got in position, he commanded Uriel to rain down fire and brimstone from heaven. There go your four angels. And so if you go back to 18, in verse 22, 18 and 22, we know who the Lord of hosts is. 22 says, the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stayed with the Lord. So who was the Lord? Michael. So Abraham still there with Michael. Well, who's that you asked the question about in 19? See, and there came two angels to Sodom in the evening. So Uriel rained down the brimstone from heaven. Michael stayed with Abraham. So we know that there's Gabriel and Raphael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Somebody else got something? We're gonna try to make it to an hour if we can.
Queen Netta had a question from yesterday. Her question is, why didn't Jacob go with Leah and Dinah to see the daughter of the land? Or
Yeah, we already dealt with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody else got something?
Then I have one more question. When you read in Jasher 79 last night,
Right.
and Moses' father-in-law was told him not to circumcise his firstborn son.
Right. Yeah, what about it?
I was saying, what did you say the reason why he told Moses not to circumcise his firstborn son?
Well, if you go back to that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so important to like I said, I try to go all over in and show you the order of things, because of when you know the order of things, and somebody do something out of the ordinary that don't seem right, you know something wrong. So
Right.
if you go to 2 Samuel, go to 2 Samuel chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Right.
Okay.
So when we check 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 1, it says, it came to pass when the king sat in his house, that's David, and the Lord had given him rest round about from all his enemies. So I'm gonna stop right there, because I'm gonna answer this because it just came up. So everybody, I was dealing with somebody today about this. It's the Lord said to my Lord. They got that all twisted. They your answer right here. It came to pass when the king sat in his house. David is the Lord. He's the Lord. Every Israelite in Israel David is their Lord. So it says, so David is in his house, and the Lord, this is the other Lord. the Lord had given him rest round about from all his enemies. So the Lord said to my Lord, David is Lord, and Michael said, Michael told David, sit down, I'm gonna get rid of your enemies. We see it right there. So back to what you were saying, back to Jethro. So verse 2, the king said unto Nathan, right, the prophet, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of God dwelleth within curtains. And Nathan said to the king, go do all that's in thine heart, for the Lord is with thee. He can't do that because let's look at two examples. One of them is when the Pharaoh told Joseph his dream and asked him, tell me what the dream is, right? What did Joseph say? I have to go, let me go and deal with my God. And then I'll come back in 3 days and tell you what he said. So he left, and then he came back, and the most Lord of hosts had conveyed to him his dream and told him what the meaning was. Then he told him. So Nathan ain't gone nowhere. This is a major issue. So David want to know, he got desire to build the Most High house, but he asked the high priest because he the one that deals with the Most High. But he goes directly and tell him, go do all this in your heart. He ain't go and consult with the Most High. He ain't consult with the Lord of hosts. He told him on his own accord, just like what Jethro doing. He telling him on his own accord what he think he should do. And so we see the correction in verse 4. And it came to pass that night that the word of the Lord came unto Nathan. See, so David is the one who want to build him a house. David is the one he chose. Why is he going to Nathan? Because Nathan had told him something he ain't got no business telling him.
Right.
Doing the most. So he comes that night and says, and it came to pass that night that the word of the Lord came to Nathan saying, go and tell my servant David, thus saith the Lord. See? So I don't know where you can say thus saith the Lord is that you went and inquired of him. Nathan didn't do that. Jethro didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
See that? And so that's how you understand what's going on. So even today, you ask somebody something, they can't go to the scripture and break it down or go and deal with the Most High about it. You got a problem.
Right.
So that was the issue, right? The problem was, and it got him caught up. It got Moses caught up. If you want Zipporah circumcising it, cut the angel of the Lord off.
Right.
So yeah, that's what that is. Like I said, if they don't go in, the prophet don't go in and consult the Lord, there's something wrong. That's why I was saying. Let me look at it right quick. So when you go to Genesis, let me get it right quick. I think it's 26. Yeah, Genesis chapter 25 and verse 19 says, this is the story of Rebekah. It says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah the wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Panaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord. See that? So Isaac is in the same position with Rebekah that Nathan was in with David. So Rebekah wanted to know what's going on with her stomach. So Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. In 22, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So when you got the proper understanding, Isaac had to go inquire of the Lord about what's going on in her stomach. So where do you think Isaac went? Isaac went to Abraham. And then everything that you see her doing at the time when Jacob received the blessing, that was his answer. He told her what to do. He went and inquired of the Lord, and Abraham came back and told her that it's gonna come a time Jacob is two boys in your stomach. That's the reason why your stomach like that. Isaac gonna love Esau, but Jacob is the promised child. So you're gonna have to do this, and everything you seen her done when she told him to go get a calf from the out of the herd so she can make venison. She put the sheep, put Esau clothes on him, put the sheep skin on his arm so he can feel like he hairy. That's what was told to her when she said she went and inquired. She went and asked Abraham. And Abraham went and inquired of the Lord, like the order of things, and Abraham told her what she gonna have to do. And so she waited. When the time came, it unfolded just like he told her. Isaac told Esau to go kill him a deer, make some venison. That's the order of things. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Anybody else got anything? All right, let me. I got a question down here. Let me bring it up. It says, are the people that died in the captivity going to be resurrected that believe in JC? Well, I'm gonna read what the scriptures say. When you understand that the Most High, he's dealing with Israel. We just read the woes, what he said he's gonna do to all the nations and the wicked folks on the earth. So, yeah. So, I'm gonna read it right here. It says, Ezekiel 37. I think is what it is. Ezekiel 37 says, verse 9 says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say unto the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. Then the answer right here, 11. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried and our hope is lost, and we are cut off from our parts. So he says right here, this a whole house. Every Israelite that's born is going to be resurrected. And then I can't recall the scripture here, but it says some the righteousness and some the unrighteousness, some the everlasting life and some the everlasting contempt. So the way they passed away back in the day is the way they're gonna be resurrected. If they passed away unrighteous, when they be resurrected, they're gonna be resurrected unrighteous. Only for one reason, for the judgment. If that somebody might know what the scripture is, but if it come to me, I'll show you what it said. But he said that there's gonna be raised some the righteousness and some the unrighteousness. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Everybody good? Yeah. Well, I was gonna pose something like for you can get an answer tomorrow. Right before the Sabbath class started, I will get an answer. I was looking at like I said, I was trying to space out the time that that we have during the week and try to equal it out. Well, we not, it's not no conversation going on. It's not too long of a period in between the time that we could commune together. So I was looking at so it'll be easy on everybody. We already doing Mondays. We off on Tuesday, come together on Wednesday, and off on Thursday, then come back Friday and Saturday. So, like I said, I'm just putting that out there, just get some feedback tomorrow. Let it ferment, and I can get an answer in the morning. If you want to continue to do Thursdays, we can, but what I'm saying, you're gonna get I'm looking at better classes and getting a better result if it's spaced out, and then I got time to deal with the classes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I got that verse from, yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue, man. I be dealing with so much stuff. Here we go. It's Malachi. Appreciate that, AJ. Malachi. Last book of the Old Testament. Yeah, it says verse 1, verse Malachi 4 and 1 is the coming day of the Lord is the same as when you're dealing with Ezekiel chapter 37. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But okay, that's what it is, 4 and 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go up as calves out of stall. Yeah, that's sort of pertaining to it. That's not the verse I was talking about. But anyway, so based on that right there, it says in verse 4, it's just for anybody, just to connect some dots. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. So why is he saying that day gonna burn like an oven? If you go back to Zechariah chapter let me see. Yeah, go back to Zechariah chapter 12. So it says this I'm bouncing off of 37. You're gonna resurrect the whole house of Israel. That was a question that was posed earlier. Then we went to Malachi chapter 4, verse 1, that it's a day of fire. And then I'm gonna show you why he's saying that. I'm in Zechariah chapter 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, said the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formed the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day, same day in Malachi, the day of the Lord, will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut into pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. So why is they going to be cut into pieces? Because he didn't resurrect his army. In Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 11. He didn't resurrect his army. Verse 4, in that day, said the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment and his riders with madness, and I will open mine eyes to the house of Judah. That's one tribe. That's what David in, the tribe David in. And I will smite every horse of the people with blindness, and the governors, the kings, all the kings that ruled in Jerusalem come out of David's lineage. So it's David's house. All the kings come out of David's house. So it says, the kings of Judah shall say in their hearts. Remember they dead, but now they're alive. The kings of Judah shall say in their hearts, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength. In the Lord of hosts, their God. In that day will I make the kings of Judah like a heath of fire. So when he resurrect them, when you resurrect them, they're gonna be like the angels. Well, we know what the Lord of hosts did on the bush with Moses. He appeared on a bush as a flame of fire. So now when he resurrect them, this is the promise that all Israelites already knew before they even gave us the New Testament. They knew that they was going to be resurrected and they was going to be like the angels that they had been dealing with. So he says in 6, in that day will I make the kings of Judah like a heap of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people. They reading over this, and they shall devour all the people around about, on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall say the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David, that's all the kings that he done resurrected, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angels. See that? And the angel of the Lord before them. So they're gonna be like angels. When you resurrect them, that's who's gonna clear out the land. That's who's gonna destroy all the wicked. That's who's gonna do what I just read in the book of Enoch, the woes, when he said he's gonna come in the latter days and destroy all the evil on earth. The day of destruction for the Gentiles. It's these people right here gonna do it. They coming back with glorified bodies, right? Okay.
Hey, Leonard, that verse you was looking for is Daniel 12.
Right, yeah, that's
12
it.
and 2, I believe.
Right, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I hadn't dealt with it in a while. That's why it slipped my mind. Yeah, when you said that, I remember it. It was on my back of in my head, but I couldn't bring it up. Yeah, so this is a precept that's pertaining to what I had read in Ezekiel 37. Daniel 12 says, and at that time shall Michael stand up. So we see who it is that's going to stand up in the last days. The great prince which standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even at that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's the same as what I read in Ezekiel 37, when he resurrected the whole house of Israel. That's everybody that's found in the book. Then verse 2, and many of them that sleep, that they did sleep in. When he's dealing with in the scriptures, the sleep, they dead, they just resting. So he says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth, they in their graves, shall awake, some to everlasting life because of the life they lived. They served the Most High and walked upright. They gonna wake up to everlasting life. And then it says, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So the ones that didn't keep the Most High laws and statutes and dealt with him uprightly, they're going to be awakened, but they're going to be awakened to everlasting contempt, to judgment. Right. So anybody else have anything? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay. What I'm gonna do right here. Yeah, we seem to have a better Friday when people start asking questions. So well, with that being said, I'm gonna close it out right here because of seemed like we had questions. And yeah, I don't see no more questions. Right. Okay. So we're gonna close out until in the morning at 9 o'clock for the Sabbath class. So I just want to say shalom, 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 and another shalom. Okay.